Attention passionate Cleveland, Browns fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. We're diving into some NFL news that's been making waves, especially in the AFC North, and it's got everything to do with a potential shakeup that could seriously benefit the Cleveland Browns. We've seen a lot of movement around the league lately, and one of the most intriguing stories right now involves the Green Bay Packers and a certain cornerback, Jaire Alexander. Yes, the Packers' move to release Alexander might seem like just another roster shuffle on the surface, but when you dig deeper, it could have huge implications, not just for Green Bay, but for the Browns and the entire division. So let's break this down. The Packers, as many of you know, have been in a bit of a cap space crunch. And releasing Jaire Alexander, one of their top cornerbacks and a player who's been a key piece of their secondary, was a strategic move to free up some serious cap room. According to reports and analyses from sources like Acme Packing Company, the Packers managed to free up over $1 million in cap space for this season alone, and around $5 million for next year. When you add that all up, that's a staggering $6 million in cap space over 2 years. That's not just pocket change, it's a game changer, especially when you consider how tight the cap can be for NFL teams. Now, this move opens up a lot of options for Green Bay. They're loaded at the wide receiver position. Think about it, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks. They've got talent, and they're not shy about drafting more weapons for quarterback Jordan Love. With all this talent at wide receiver, the Packers might be looking to shake things up on defense or maybe even make some trades. And that's where the Cleveland Browns come into the picture. The Browns, as most of you know, have been building a pretty solid roster. They've got stars on both sides of the ball, especially on offense with Deshaun Watson leading the charge and a talented group of skilled players. But the NFL is always about adding depth, especially at key positions like cornerback. And the possibility of Cleveland making a move for Jaire Alexander is suddenly more realistic than ever. Even if Browns GM Andrew Berry isn't actively pursuing Alexander, the Packers might be interested in some of Cleveland's talented defensive backs, particularly Greg Newsome II. Newsome has been developing into a top-tier corner, and with the Browns' depth at corner, it's conceivable that a trade could be on the table. Let's imagine a scenario where the Packers, after releasing Alexander, look to trade him to Cleveland. Why would they do that? Well, with the cap space they've opened up, Green Bay has more flexibility to retool their roster, especially on defense. They might want to target some other areas, or they could be looking to bring in younger players or draft picks in exchange for a proven veteran like Alexander. For Cleveland, acquiring a player of Alexander's caliber would be a massive boost. He's still relatively young, only in his prime, and extremely talented. He's been regarded as one of the best cornerbacks in the league when healthy, capable of shutting down top receivers and making big plays. And let's talk about the impact on Cleveland's defense. Last season, the Browns' secondary had its moments, but they also faced some inconsistencies. Adding a player like Alexander would immediately upgrade that unit, giving them a lockdown corner to pair with Greg Newsome II. Together, those two could form one of the league's most formidable duos, creating headaches for quarterbacks in the AFC North and beyond. It would also give defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz more options to mix and match their coverages, especially in high-pressure situations. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. What if Cleveland isn't interested in Alexander? Well, even if they decide to pass, the fact that the Packers are open to trading him indicates that they're looking to shake things up and reconfigure their roster. And that could open the door for other trades or signings. For example, the Packers' surplus at wide receiver might mean they're looking to deal one of their younger receivers like Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs. And if Cleveland has the right pieces to offer, especially at positions where Green Bay is looking to strengthen, then a trade could be on the horizon. Imagine, for a moment, that the Browns decide to target a wide receiver from Green Bay, perhaps someone like Watson or Dubs, who are both talented but might be available in the right deal. Acquiring a receiver like that would complement Cleveland's existing passing game and give Deshaun Watson even more weapons to work with. Plus, if the Browns were to make a move like this, they could potentially extend the contract of the receiver if he performs well, creating continuity and stability for the offense in the coming seasons. That's the kind of strategic move that could elevate Cleveland's offense to a whole new level, especially as they prepare for a potentially deep playoff run in 2024 and beyond. But let's step back for a moment and look at the broader picture. The NFL offseason is a constant chess game, and roster moves like these are just part of the game's evolution. Cleveland has been building steadily, adding key players through free agency and draft picks, and now they might be on the verge of making a bold move to further solidify their roster. The AFC North is incredibly competitive. Baltimore has been a powerhouse. Cincinnati continues to be a threat with Joe Burrow leading the charge, and Pittsburgh always finds a way to stay in the mix. For Cleveland to truly compete at the highest level, they need to make smart moves, and this potential trade scenario involving Green Bay's cap space and talented players could be just what they need. Now, I want to touch a little on the current season for Cleveland. The Browns have been showing flashes of greatness, especially on defense with Myles Garrett leading that pass rush and Denzel Ward anchoring the secondary. Offensively, Deshaun Watson has been working to find his rhythm, and with new weapons and a solid offensive line, there's every reason to believe the Browns can take a big step forward this year. But what really could set them apart is adding that extra piece, something like a proven cornerback or a dynamic receiver that can turn close games into wins. That's why these rumors and possibilities are so exciting for Browns fans. They hint at a future where Cleveland is not just competitive but a true AFC contender. And speaking of the AFC, the landscape is shifting rapidly. Teams like Kansas City and Buffalo are still the favorites, but the Browns are quietly building a roster that could challenge them. A key trade, like acquiring Jaire Alexander or a similar star, could be the missing puzzle piece. Imagine the Browns' defense with Alexander, a player who's been to multiple Pro Bowls, who's known for his agility, ball skills, and ability to shut down top receivers. That kind of upgrade could make Cleveland a nightmare for quarterbacks and give them a real shot at making a deep playoff run, maybe even reaching the Super Bowl in the near future. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking about the cap implications and whether Cleveland can afford to make such a move. Well, with the Packers opening up so much cap space, and if Cleveland can offer the right assets, say, a couple of draft picks or a young player with potential, they might be able to strike a deal that benefits both sides. It's all about timing and strategic planning, and with Andrew Berry's track record of making shrewd moves, I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland is already exploring those options behind the scenes. Plus, let's not forget the importance of locker room chemistry and team culture. Bringing in a veteran like Alexander, if the deal goes through, could also boost the locker room's confidence, bringing leadership and experience that's crucial during the playoff push. It's not just about talent, it's about adding players who can elevate the entire team's mindset and performance when it matters most. Looking ahead, the Browns' offseason plans are shaping up to be some of the most exciting in recent memory. The team management is clearly aware of their needs, and with so much cap space now available thanks to the Packers' restructuring, they have the flexibility to get creative. Whether it's a blockbuster trade, a key signing, or strategic draft picks, Cleveland fans should stay tuned because the next few weeks could be pivotal in shaping the team's future. And it's not just about adding players. It's about building a roster that can sustain success, that can handle the pressure of playoff football, and that can finally take that next step towards Super Bowl glory. Cleveland's front office has shown patience and shrewdness, and this potential move involving Jaire Alexander or other Green Bay assets fits perfectly into that narrative. It's about making bold choices at the right time, and right now, the opportunity is there. So, as Browns fans, what do you think about all this? Are you excited about the possibility of adding a top-tier cornerback or receiver? Do you see this as the move that could finally push Cleveland over the edge and into legitimate Super Bowl contention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion really matters. I want to hear from all of you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster move? Do you think it's realistic? Would you like to see Cleveland make a deal with Green Bay? And who would you want to see the Browns target if they do make a trade? These are the kinds of conversations that make our community so special. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We're on this journey together, and I promise you, the best is yet to come. Keep supporting your team, stay passionate, and let's see what the future holds for Cleveland. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.